divorce. I want a divorce. The best years of my life slaving over a hot nest. And what thanks do I get? You barnyard boob. The minute my back was turned, he did it.
I want a divorce.
Hello and welcome to Legends of the Dark Knight. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and joining me in this adventure into Gotham City is...
Dave Joan Mike, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Recently we lost yet another DC Animated Universe voice. Bob Hastings, the voice of Commissioner Gordon from BTAS, passed away. So that's what's kind of been going on in the world of DCAU. It's kind of I wouldn't say it's necessarily a shock, but it's just some really sad events. Let's see what else is going on. We've got this episode, which is probably going to be one of my more favorable episodes from Season 2 as far as what we're covering today. Because there's a lot of good stuff in these episodes.
Debatable.
Well, I guess we'll have to start debating.
So with that, we will come back after this with the first episode.
Hello, Gotham, I'm Ian Peake. And on tonight's very special Inside Peek, I've got gossip to shock your socks off. But first, this question. Who is boxing trainer Jack Turley coaching after hours? Would you believe the champ's girlfriend? I'd watch out, Jack. She's a knockout in more ways than one. And then there's rocker Jamie Gerald. She must know that splicing's against the law. Yet here she is just a day ago, meeting with one of the town's most notorious genetic suppliers. Maybe Hard Rockin' Jamie's out to become the real Dragon Lady of the music biz. And now for our headline story. The strange case of Paxton Powers. Remember him? We haven't heard much from Paxy Boy since he took over Wayne Powers from his blighted father. Maybe it's because Pax has been sidetracked by, personal issues? Looks like he's making up for all that time he wasted in the boonies. Now watch this.
Ooh! What are they doing?
This isn't for you.
I want to see!
Hey!
I don't want you watching this.
See, I told you.
I was talking to both of you.
Come on, it's just entertainment.
You wouldn't find it so entertaining if you were on the receiving end.
First up is Sneak Peek. This episode depicts the near revealing of the secret identities of Batman. A mysterious man who is completely intangible is stalking Gotham, recording secrets wherever he can find them. These secrets are later displayed on a tabloid news show, The Inside Peek by Ian Peake. Terry thinks the show is great until he finds that his secret will be revealed as well.
Yup. I love this episode. It's basically their commentary on shady, shifty journalists. Basically, their commentary on the tabloids, because that's basically what the Inside Peek is. It's basically what we would, equate to like Inside Edition or Hard Copy or, something like that. But I love this episode. It's so funny and fun, and it's, one of the few times that anyone really ever comes to finding out as to who Batman is. From my notes that I wrote down for this one, the animation and action are all top notch. I love Bruce's line. I always knew I'd be found out, but it's just galling that Peak had to be the one. My final note was a combination of many things. Wowzers, gang, he's going to fall all the way to the Earth's core. Talk about a bogus journey. So, Scooby-Doo meets Bill and Ted. Yay. What did you think of this one?
Well, I think it's funny that Terry's mother, shuts off the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Telling him that you wouldn't find it so entertaining if you were on the receiving end.
Yep. Which that comes back around later, and she says, "Oh, it's all right." She basically contradicts herself.
Yeah, but she just thinks it's a show, and Batman finds out otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's funny that he can phase in between things.
Yeah.
And somehow plants a camera on the Batmobile.
Yeah, I got this episode confused a little bit because there was the one episode with Ink where she actually blended in with the Batmobile, and Terry said, the car's a little sluggish tonight. And Bruce is like, well, that's because it's like 100 pounds heavier. And I thought that's kind of what Peak had done, but slipping the camera on the Batmobile, that was just amazing.
Yeah, they'd say it's a few ounces.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how Ian is all about, exposing people, yet when he is exposed himself, he's like, you've got to help me. Well, there's nothing Terry can do once you start falling to the center of the earth. And Terry even asks Bruce, so what'll happen to him? Oh, he'll fall until he hits the Earth's core. That's one horrible way to die.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. Bruce is like, whatever. I mean, there's really nothing he can do anyway, so I mean, you might as well just let him die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny that Peak is demanding things of Bruce later on.
Yep.
Bruce is like, no.
Overall, the episode was really, really good. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't something I expected them to do, because I know in some of the commentaries and in some of the special features that they had said, Bruce Timm and the producers had said that in season 2, they wanted to go towards, let's do the corporate world and do more like to do with the high school and that kind of thing, to kind of show you that, hey, this is Terry's show, this isn't Bruce's show. So I like how they did that, and this was an episode I was not expecting back when it aired. I was like, oh, wow. But now I absolutely love it.
Well, I think it's a welcome change compared to some of the other episodes we get. I'm not a true fan of all of the schoolisms. Right. I don't know if it's because I hated school, or if it's because I don't care for this method of storytelling for the school parts. But when it comes to the other like corporate entities, I enjoy it more. But I think that's because it harkens back to BTAS.
Right. Yeah. No, I understand that. All right, I guess, is there anything else we want to bring up for the trivia or the behind-the-scenes stuff?
Well, for instance, the resulting explosion for production notes of Ian Peak igniting a fire was reused footage from the Superman animated series World's Finest Part 3.
Yep.
A lot of, as usual, production inconsistencies. The pan of the Batcave, the Robin suit insignia is red and it's supposed to be yellow. Freeze's cold gun is visible in the Batcave, even though it was destroyed by ink and disappearing ink, which that could easily be retconned with Batman could have tons of them.
Yeah.
For how many times he's captured him.
Yep.
This episode is another example of what is sometimes called the ghost paradox in sci-fi and fantasy. If a person is rendered completely intangible by scientific means, he should logically be unable to stand on a floor, breathe air, into his lungs or speak, yet Peak is shown doing all of these things. Also, if such a person ceases to be tangible matter, then gravity would have no effect on him. If gravity were the only force acting on Ian, he would not simply come to rest at the center of the Earth. Instead, he would accelerate as he approaches the center and then shoot to the exact opposite point of the Earth from where he started, only to be pulled back towards the center and reach the point from where he started. And this effect would continue indefinitely, assuming frictional forces can no longer act on him. Which, that's a big load of sci-fi, but it makes a lot of sense, so it'd be like a slingshot effect back and forth.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
It would be hilarious. He'd be on bungee cords. Trivia: the character model of the boxer is the same as Clayface's human disguise and growing pains.
Interesting.
The scene where Terry confesses to being Batman was used for several TV spots promoting the show on Kids WB.
I remember those spots.
I barely remember it. Jimmy Lynn isn't alone in not wanting to face tax evasion charges in Ghost Joker's Millions. Even the Joker didn't want to face the IRS.
I'm crazy, but face the I forget what the actual line is about this.
He's like,
to face the bat is one thing, but to face the IRS, no, thank you.
Yeah.
or even I'm not that crazy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Even I'm not that crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I'd say this is one of the more solid episodes of of what we're going to cover tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
So with that, we're moving on.
No sign of him anywhere. I've lost him.
Him? That's a doll you're talking about, not a life.
It's my life if it's lost. I'll have to take family studies again. Have you ever taken family studies? Poor kid's gonna cry till he shuts down.
Its cries are computer generated, aren't they?
Yeah, so?
That would mean the cries would have certain quantifiable digital properties.
Then I can set the Batmobile to scan for them, can't I?
Uh-huh. Unless they've already made an omelet out of him.
Oh, hey.
All right, up next is by far one of my favorite episodes of this entire series because we all, in our early educational careers, went through what Terry is going to be going through in this episode. Oh, come on now. You never had to take care of a bag of salt or a bag of flour? Oh,
nope.
Geez.
Our school system was too poor. Only the girls had to do it.
God.
I didn't have that class anyway, so
that is so sexist.
Well, I'm sure the guys did too, but I never had that class. It wasn't required.
Yeah, I remember doing this several times throughout my school career, but this episode up next is the Eggbaby, which is basically Terry's in family studies class. Terry must take care of a computerized egg baby. Dropping the egg baby means failure, and he soon finds that there is no one else to take care of it. Unfortunately, this means taking the egg baby with him on missions as Batman, as he deals with a family of rogues. I love this episode. This episode is so hilarious, every single bit of it. It truly shows you just how getting by Terry is at school. Like, every time we see him in Hamilton Hill High School, he is usually asleep or spacing out or running out of the classroom. And here it's so funny because they give these. I would have loved to have had something like this instead of a bag of flour or a bag of sugar to be able to take care of something like this. This would have been really cool. And we see how each of the core side characters, people like Nelson, people like Blade, people like Dana and Howard, all react to having this egg baby. In the meantime, Mom Mayhem and her boys are out to steal a bunch of rubies. I don't know. What did you think of the villains here?
Well, I don't know. I think it was a funny episode. because of the trauma that he's having to go through holding this egg baby while being Batman, and it's like winking at him and laughing and crying and screaming and everything else because it's all computerized. But I don't particularly care for this episode.
Why?
I just don't. I don't know. It's something about the whole high school thing. It bothers me when they focus too much on it. Like, I don't mind it being there somewhat. And then
this episode,
I think the villains too in this episode are kind of throwaway.
Well, they are. I mean, they're meant to be something like a Penguin Beyond or something where it's like the criminal of the week, which is fine. But I do like how Bruce does say that he's run into them before and they've been around for a while, so they're establishing characters. As far as it being too centered on the school, I mean, the school basically bookends the episode. I mean, they get the assignment, they then go on the assignment, and Terry has to, because Blade can't be bothered, has to take care of the thing himself. And I can't believe you don't see the comedy in Terry showing Bruce this whole thing and asking him for advice on parenting. I can't believe you don't find that funny.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know. I'm still, you could say, old fashioned and tainted by the original series of it. It's I can't help it. I don't like the Eggbaby thing, and I think I would like it more if it was like a more memorable villain that he's having to deal with. But I understand the reason they have these bumbling idiots that are there, so it's not as serious with him holding this baby.
I did love the musical tones when Mom Mayhem clocks Batman. I thought those were awesome. And I cringe and laugh at the line every single time, but when Bruce is telling Terry that Mom Mayhem has the egg baby without her knowing she has it, he makes a crack about, well, you better hurry up and go save it unless they've made an omelet out of him already. And Terry's like, oh, hey. I found that hilarious. Overall, I really do dig the Egg Baby, and I think it's the only time we ever see Batman as in Terry McGinnis stick out his tongue, and that's just hilarious. That's
that I'll give you.
Yeah.
Terry with the tongue.
Yes. So for some continuity and production stuff and trivia, for continuity, Miss Pinto calls out names of several one-episode classmates, including Jackie Wallace from Earth Mover, Adam Stepnick from The Last Resort, and Corey Cavallari from Centuries of the Last Cosmos. For production notes, the DVD features a commentary by Bruce Timm, James Tucker, Andre Romano, Glenn Murakami, and Will Friedle. According to the commentary, this was supposed to be the most childish episode the writers could think of. Also stated in the commentary, the Mayhem family's flying car is well left a Chevrolet El Camino. For trivia, from this episode on, the title screen and opening billing get a new font. This episode won an Emmy Award. This was the first episode James Tucker directed, and Kurt Gato was engaged in working on Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Bruce Timm said in the commentary that this is the only episode he worked on that he allowed his daughter to watch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bruce's comment about making slippers from rubies is a reference to the 1939 version of The Wizard of Oz. And this marks the final appearance of Blade in the series, so she will no longer be around. Let's see. You've got you got Kathleen Freeman as Ma Mayhem. You've got Mark Rolston as Carl and Andy Dick as Slim.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Overall, Eggbaby, it's got a lot of comedy in it. I know you don't like it, but for anyone who has gone through the family studies course, you're going to love this episode because it is damn hilarious. So with that, I think we're going to move on to the next one.
Max, but what about free will? I mean, I'm not going to believe that everything I am was completely decided before I was born.
Can we choose to disobey our own drives? This troubling question endures as researchers continue to discover the extent to which human behavior is preordained by biologic and environmental influences.
I don't know. Has being Batman just given me a suspicious nature?
Yes, but there's still something weird with Miss Martell.
Zeta, going back to school?
Remind me never to tick off the phone company.
Last chance to come home quietly.
I'll call you when I know what's going on.
Next up is Zeta. This depicts the appearance of an assassin droid named Zeta in Gotham City. People start acting strange around Hamilton Hill High School, and it's soon discovered that they were being replaced by a droid with the capability to mimic other people. Terry becomes greatly concerned when the droid kidnaps Max, but it tries to convince Max that it has given up killing. And it spawned another series, so...
Yes, this episode was a backdoor crossover pilot to the series the Zeta Project. I like this one. It's interesting to see Max do some different things in it. But honestly, if you want to watch something like this, just go watch The Iron Giant, which came out like 2 years before this did.
And it was done better.
Because that's basically what this episode is. It's a rip-off of The Iron Giant. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm looking for trivia. This is the 4th out of 5 episodes from which Bruce Wayne is absent, the others being Hidden Agenda, The Final Cut, Armory, and Inkling. Subject to the biology class, the influence of genetics versus that of free will in a person's behavior is paralleled by Zeta's dilemma. It also calls to the mind Terry being Bruce Wayne's biological son, and eventually taking up the mantle of Batman. Well, what is really cool about this one is an actor who I know from NCIS is the voice of
Zeta.
No, Joe Spano, the voice of Bennett, was a guest star on NCIS for a while. He was recurring character, let's see, Special Agent Tobias Fornell. So when I went back and I watched this episode, I'm like, hey, wait, I recognize that. Oh, yeah, it's that guy. So that was kind of cool. Any other trivia bits you want to bring up or anything else you want to say about this one?
No, I don't think so.
All right, we will be moving on.
You misjudge me.
I don't think so.
Enough. Much as I would relish hunting you, this time I seek a different prey.
Yeah, right.
He's telling the truth.
Bennett.
He's working for us now, Batman. Tracking a man named Falseface.
Falseface?
An agent for hire who can change identities the way most people change clothes. He's working for Cobra. It's a powerful, ultra-secret organization that uses cutting-edge technology for extortion and terrorism. If we don't pay a ransom of 10 billion credits, they've threatened to release a deadly supervirus.
You're kidding, right?
I wish.
Next up is Plague, depicting the return of Stalker. The evil organization Cobra has planned to unleash a deadly supervirus into Gotham City unless they are paid 10 billion credits in ransom. In order to carry out their plan, they hire the mercenary Falseface, wow, that's an old name, to smuggle the virus into the city. With nowhere else to turn to, the NSA enlists the aid of the Stalker to find and stop Falseface. Now, Batman finds himself in an uneasy alliance with his enemy.
I like this one, but it's not... This and Zeta are going to be my low rankings this time around because, while I like seeing the Stalker again and I like hearing Carl Lumbly voice the Stalker, this is not one of my favorite episodes. I mean, this is just like they went back to the 80s, ripped something out of the G.I. Joe Cobra handbook, and are putting a Batman into it.
Well, and it's funny because they have Falseface, which... It's funny that they made him this weirdo in this show, and he was actually like the Two-Face of the 66 show.
Yeah, that's true.
For the one episode he was there. So it's actually funny. It must have been a copyright grab. But yeah, the well, first of all, it's funny that he molds his face. It's almost like a clay face effect.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that in the 66 show, he would put on a different face. Like, somehow make a new mask of faces, or his face could morph somehow, but...
Right.
Which always conveniently happened off screen. But no, this... I can't remember what this guy looks like he came from. It's like... It's almost like they took the animation of his face from, like, the... I want to say, like, the Sherlock Holmes of the 22nd century or something.
Yeah, that could be it.
There's a bad guy on there that looks like him. So, but I don't know. It's interesting, but I'm not favorable to Stalker.
I mean, I liked him a little bit better in this episode that he wasn't hunting Batman, but overall, no.
I don't know. I'm more okay with this episode than I was with him in the previous one, but it's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing to sneeze at.
Yep. And other than Carl Lumley returning, here's an interesting bit. Falseface is voiced by Michelangelo.
Townsend Coleman?
Yep.
The real Michelangelo?
Yes, the real...
I'm not beating Greg Sipes. He's awesome as Mike.
No, I know what you're meaning, and I'm like, yeah, no, we can't go down the
I
Jonathan...
want to go down that rabbit hole.
Huh? What?
I want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I want to throw that bitch under the bus.
Lord.
Yeah. So, anyways...
Yeah, we're going to move on to the final episode of the day after this.
My service said that both of your legs were...
No tricks this time.
They're gonna kill her now. They're gonna kill her.
Who? Who are they gonna kill?
My wife. It's the truth. Why else do you think I'd be helping those punks?
This her?
Yes. April. April changed my whole life. Have you ever met anyone like that? I spent 20 years working day and night to help other people, but my own life was empty. All I had was my work.
Dr. Corso. Good morning. I'm your new nurse, April. I thought you might want some breakfast.
Flaky Flakes. They're for children, aren't they?
I have a feeling you've never tried them, even when you were a child yourself.
It's that obvious, huh? Not bad.
See what you've been missing?
That's how it started, with a bowl of cereal. It only took me a couple of weeks to make up my mind about her. April, could you please clean this? It was about 6 months ago that I met Harold. That's what he called himself back then, not Bullwhip. I'd done a wrist replacement for him, but he wanted more.
You know, Doc, when it comes to mixing flesh and metal, you're a genius. You could probably do things other doctors never even dream of. I'm serious. You could use your prosthetics to make people stronger, faster, more dangerous.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
With the right partners, you could get very rich.
Not interested. I've already got everything I want. Everything.
And finally up today is again one of my favorite episodes of this series, entitled April Moon. It depicts the emergence of a new gang of outlaws, cybernetically enhanced with weapons powerful enough to take on Batman. This is basically, this reminds me, I don't know why, this reminds me of that old show Empty Nest. Like, the Doctor in this reminds me of the Doctor in that as far as his age and all that stuff. But this is your standard, you know, old doctor. He's really depressed. He meets this young hot nurse, and oh hey, let's get married and let's do this and let's do that and whatever else. And at one point, she gets kidnapped by these new guys, this new gang who. This doctor is really good at using robotics and servos and splicing, so they get themselves spliced mechanically. And apparently the failsafe for this is a voice-activated phrase, and we see that it's, you know, Batman at one point picks up a picture of April, and she's standing by the moon, and Terry's like, oh, like that old song, April Moon. And I honestly, I'm wondering, I'm going to have to look up on iTunes if that's actually a real song. Like, if they really, or if they're just making that up. So that's what the voice command is. And I like the look of these new guys, Whip and Chainsaw Dude, and basically a metallic version of the Thing. I like how they all look. I think they're all really cool. I like these guys, these versions of splicing than the animal splicing that they've done in the past.
I definitely agree with you there. I don't mind the mechanical. I like the cybernetic kind of add-ons. I don't care for the animal part, but I think that kind of still draws back to the original Batman animated series, because either one of us could stand the animal splicing then.
Nope, not really. So, what did you like about this one?
Well, obviously I like the cybernetics, but it's, I don't know, it's just kind of neat to see Batman have to fight people that are almost his equal in that sense of just overpowering him. And then and to show that he's kind of also knowledgeable in things other than what you would think. Like, it shows that he's a little bit more seasoned, for the fact that he mentions the April Moon thing about the song,
right?
But showing that he's just not some young punk kid that just doesn't care about stuff. But I also find it funny that Bruce Wayne actually had something to do with this guy at one point.
Yeah, because his servo motors are the same ones he used to use in the old bat suits. In the older versions of the Batman Beyond suit that he uses. So, which is really nice and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is an actual song by the UK singer-songwriter Sam Brown. Came out in 1990. So, I guess according to Terry's timeline, that would be an old song.
It's from the original Legends.
Yes. There's a bunch of production inconsistencies here, but it's nothing really worth mentioning. As far as the trivia goes, the fate of April remains unknown, although the episode's final scene, as well as Bruce's comment, implies that Corso rather gruesomely murders Bullwhip during what is to be his ultimate enhancement surgery. This is the second episode since The Last Resort in which Batman does not use any batarangs.
Aw, no batarangs?
No batarangs.
Boo! No batarangs for you.
Exactly. So we will be moving on. Actually, no, we won't. We'll be going to a break. Duh. Damn it.
Hello, geeks. Want a podcast that covers a vast array of topics with no rhyme or reason? Then check out Altered Geek Unlimited, where the topics fly more or less off the cuff. We cover media news, TV, our favorite geek products, and of course, your feedback. So get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
By the power of Grayskull, I command the jaw bridge. Open!
Yes, that's right. We have traveled to Eternia to enter Castle Grayskull. Join Optimus Solo and TFJ and Mike as they find themselves telling tales of Eternia. We cover all things He-Man in this 45-episode-long podcast. You can find us on iTunes and www.geekcastradio.com. By the power of Grayskull, we all have the power. Grab your helmets because it's time to assemble Mask. Mask Mayhem is here with your hosts TFJ and Mike, Optimus Solo, and brand new host Toon Master Tim. This podcast covering all 75 episodes of Mask will feature in-depth analysis of every episode, talking the toys, and more. Mass Mayhem will run 30 podcast episodes. You can find us on iTunes and www.geekcastradio.com. So get your spectrums ready, as podcasting is the ultimate weapon. Damn it, Joker, stop confusing me when I'm trying to transition to stuff.
Who?
Joker. It's all his fault.
So, after all those episodes, what are your top 5?
It has to be. Let's see. I'm trying to think which is worse, Zeta or Plague. I'll go Plague, Zeta, Sneak Peek, April Moon, then Eggbaby.
I will go probably Plague.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by Zeta, the Eggbaby, April Moon, and Sneak Peek.
Huh. Alrighty then.
Yes.
Alrighty then. Wrong show, moron.
Shut up.
Shut up, shut up. I'll send you to my garbage skull.
Right.
Again, wrong show.
So, anyways, anything else to add?
No, Eggbaby, April Moon, and Sneak Peek are 3 of my favorite episodes of the entire series. Very, very well done. Zeta and Plague are alright. And I think, I'm trying to remember if next time I will have any favorites.
I'll read them off in the closing, and you can comment then.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yes, there's 2.
Yes.
I'm looking at it here. There's 2 that I will like.
Thank you for joining us for Legends of the Dark Knight. If you'd like to leave feedback on the show, there aren't that many episodes left to do so. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode in all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. You can become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. My Twitter handle is @SCP21, and yours is, sir?
TFG and Mike.
So join us next time when we discuss
Centuries of the Last Cosmos, Payback,
Where's Terry, Ace in the Hole, and King's Ransom.
Ace in the Hole and King's Ransom are another two of my favorites. I automatically know this because I know exactly what Ace in the Hole is. I think it's the only time in the entire history of Batman that we've got a definitive origin for Ace, the Bat Hound.
And
well, specifically to the DC animated universe.
Well, I was going to say, and I agree with you.
I don't know. I honestly, because I don't read a lot of the old Batman comics, I don't know if Ace has ever gotten an origin. I know they tried giving it. I mean, the origin for Krypto is easy. He was in a hidden pouch in Superman's ship and came with him.
Oh, boo!
No,
that's
I
a
don't
cop
know
out.
if that's. I don't know if that's actually what happened. But I'm saying that I've seen some sort of origin for Krypto at some point.
Superman was sleeping on his head.
Yes,
It was he was his damn pillow.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's a doggy pillow. I like Where's Terry too, though.
Yeah. Where is Terry is good
because you have Bruce and Max having to work together.
Yep.
Which is
hilarious. Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I think we have a couple winners next episode.
Yep. And then the episode after that, we have one big winner and two really cool episodes.
Yes. Yep.
Episode 35, we head out of the past.
Yep. Fun times. Yes. Well, that is quite the call, so.
That's episode 36. But anyway.
Anyways, so, as always, thank you for joining us. So for now, I'm Steve Megatron Phillips with
Dave and Mike,
saying in the immortal words of Batman, I am vengeance, I am the night. Mike is not Batman.
Yes, I am.
There you go.
According to this data, most of you did borderline jobs as parents. Mainly C's.
But Miss Pinto...
Yes, Howard, you and Dana fed yours and rocked it and gave it plenty of nap time. But a baby needs more than that. Its mind needs to be stimulated too. And according to this printout, only one baby was fully stimulated. The one belonging to Terry and Blade. Congratulations, Mr. McGinnis. Who knew you'd turn out to be such ideal father material?